following is a Coventry Town Council community update. Coventry, the state of Connecticut, and the United States are in the grips of the coronavirus epidemic, and over the past 2 or 3 weeks, we have just begun to experience the shuttering of many industries, the laying off of thousands of employees, including Coventry residents, and the massive effort to socially distance ourselves from everyone around us in the hopes of slowing the spread of the virus. We have already seen 3 cases in Coventry, and we are anticipating we'll see more. Our schools are closed, at least through April 20th, with hope, but no certainty about when they would reopen. There are reports that the governor is seriously considering keeping our schools closed until the fall, and our schools and teachers have begun distance learning for our school children. We want to thank all of our teachers, paraprofessionals, and administrators for their efforts to create and deploy a meaningful program on short notice during these difficult circumstances. The list of businesses affected continues to grow, seemingly daily, as the governor orders more closures to limit social contact. Many of us are now working remotely. This has never happened before in our lifetimes. It is natural that we are all concerned, uneasy, and uncertain about the immediate future. We all must pull together to support and protect the most vulnerable among us, and to keep our spirits looking ahead to the day when this crisis will end, or at least come under better control. We will get through this if we work together and take time to care for our neighbors. We want to commend our town manager, John Alcesser, and our superintendent of schools, David Patrone, for their leadership they have demonstrated during this unprecedented crisis. They are doing everything they can in conjunction with our governor and state legislature to keep us safe. We would also ask you to show your support and gratitude for all of our first responders, police, fire, and EMS, and remember that they put their safety and lives on the line for us every day, and that this crisis represents additional concerns for them. We should all be grateful for all of the healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, therapists, and many other healthcare workers who are risking their health every day to take care of us. The U.S. Senate and House just passed a $2.2 trillion relief package. This package will reportedly deliver money directly to workers, provide loans to small and large businesses, and ramp up the production of necessary medical equipment and support for our healthcare workers in hospitals, as well as our state. There are reports of medications and treatments that are showing great promise in mitigating the impacts of the virus. Our state government is taking steps to strengthen our health system's ability to respond to this crisis, expand our capabilities, and slow the spread of the virus by limiting our social contact. We have many reasons to be hopeful and even grateful. We will get through this and we will emerge even stronger than before. Use this time wisely, help and support one another, and try to remain positive while we work through the crisis. Beginning on March 19th, the town hall was closed to the public, and we encourage the public to visit the town website at coventryct.org if you need to obtain a building permit or hunting and fishing licenses, or register for recreation activities, to perform a land record search or accessing records. You will find that the majority of your needs can be met online. Our town hall employees are working behind closed doors and will answer your calls and your emails. They will help guide you through our online services. These are good things to do even after we reopen the town hall. Everything is moving very quickly and changing daily. Please visit the town website frequently because new information will be posted there. Questions can be directed to the town departments by calling 860-742-7966. Also, please visit the state website ct.gov/coronavirus for important information and updates. In the meantime, your town council is still operating. We are holding meetings based on changes in the laws made by the governor's executive orders, with the option for members to attend and even vote on issues remotely. Meetings are physically closed to the public, but our meetings can be viewed live on TV or streaming on your computer. The video of each meeting and the minutes of the meeting will be available on our town website within 7 days or less, barring unforeseen circumstances. The governor has put in place 2 executive orders that affect our town's budget process. The first order grants towns the ability to delay our budget dates mandated in our charter by up to 30 days. Remember that the town council typically finalizes a budget by early April and votes to send it to a town meeting that that adjourns automatically to a referendum in early May. We understand that the governor's executive order would allow the town council to delay the final budget vote to early June if we determine it would be beneficial to wait. The second executive order changes everything. The governor's order, while attempting to limit public exposure to the virus, stops the town from holding a physical town meeting, and our town attorney says it prevents the town from holding a budget referendum at all. The governor's order directs that in all towns, including Coventry, the town council, acting as the finance body for the town, must agree on a proposed budget and then publish it and advertise it to our citizens. We would then provide a certain period of time to enable citizens to comment on the budget by email or mail. Then the town council is directed by the governor's order to finalize the budget and pass it on their own, with no public vote by our citizens. As you can imagine, these two executive orders will have a major impact on our budget decisions for the 2020-2021 fiscal year. We have not voted on this matter yet, but we are confident that the town council will decide to delay our final budget decision and hope that circumstances will change and the governor will allow Coventry to hold a budget referendum, or we determine that we can obtain a waiver to allow us to consider holding a referendum. We want to point out that the state has already ordered Coventry to hold a presidential primary on June 2nd, and don't understand how the governor is allowing that vote, but is preventing us from holding a referendum. Maybe the primary will also be rescheduled again. The town of Vernon is reportedly going to hold a drive-through budget referendum. There will also be limited walk-up voting, using a very innovative process that would completely limit any physical opportunities to pass on the virus. We are waiting to see if this option will satisfy the specifics in the governor's executive order. You should know that the Coventry Town Council will be doing everything we can that we are allowed by the governor's orders to give our citizens the opportunity to vote on our budget. There are other good reasons to consider delaying the vote on our budget. We don't yet know the impacts of the social distancing that the president and our governor have put in place will have on the speed of the spread of the virus. How many more of our citizens will be forced from their jobs through no fault of their own, and for how long will all those affected be out of work? What impacts will the federal relief package have on our citizens and our businesses? What can the state do to help those affected? Will the state legislature move forward on their budget? As of now, the legislature is not meeting at all, and there is no date set for them to reconvene. How will the major loss of revenues that Connecticut is obviously experiencing impact the final budget that the state will eventually pass? Will the state legislature consider reducing state grants even further to municipalities as part of their response? Please remember that once the town, or town council, passes our budget, that budget sets the spending plan for the next year, not the mill rate. We set the town's mill rate after passing the budget, based on the anticipated revenues that the town will receive. If the state cuts our state grants even more than the governor has proposed in his budget after we pass our budget, then that would necessarily directly cause an increase in our mill rate to make up the difference, putting the additional burden on our taxpayers. Also, we are trying to determine if we can anticipate any funds reimbursement from FEMA. Depending on how things progress, we are hoping the governor will lift the restriction on holding a referendum for the budget in a few weeks. In the meantime, the town council will continue our work and will be taking steps to reduce the proposed mill rate, currently set at 32.2 mils in the town manager's proposed budget. This budget represents a 2.8% increase over last year's budget. Our projected revenues are being impacted by projected cuts in the governor's proposed budget to our state grant for education of about $150,000 and a loss of revenue due to the reduction of our grand list by about $4.7 million. Translates to about $106,000 in reduced tax revenues due to the impacts of crumbling foundations. We anticipate that these impacts from crumbling foundations will increase going forward as more homes are identified with the terrible problem. We will continue to support affected property owners. We will continue our work to provide vital services to our residents during this crisis. Coventry has already moved to 100% paid ambulance service during this threat. We will continue treating our lakes to eliminate the hydrilla and fanwort threats, supporting our volunteer fire departments and EMS team as we develop one single volunteer fire and EMS department to serve all of Coventry, and we will continue our efforts to support more economic development by pushing for the legislature to allow Bolton to extend their sewer line into Coventry at the town line on Route 44, and much more. Dealing with the coronavirus will continue to be our highest priority, and the safety and welfare of our citizens will continue to be our number one concern. Our hope is that we have all been heeding the guidance we've received from our town, state, and federal officials, and that we're beginning to turn the tide on this crisis. More widespread testing for the virus, continued work on promising treatment treatments, the increased availability of badly needed medical supplies such as tests, masks, gloves, booties, medical devices, the limitation of elective medical procedures to free up medical resources and beds, an increase in telemedicine, and hopefully economic relief for our workers and companies are promised and hopefully will be coming soon. We want to assure you that your town government and town staff are working hard to help all of us get through this crisis. We are in good hands, and we will get through this together.